Hello guys, welcome to another Legion campaign walkthrough. Today we're going to be playing against Shadowynn. Now Shadowynn has a very different quirk to the other campaign bosses. Shadowynn likes to starve. So Shadowynn will put a ton of pressure on you with saving Mythium wave after wave after wave before sending a massive send on wave 6, followed by another massive send on wave 10. On hard, Shadowynn gets a bonus quirk where he starts the game with plus 25 income. Now this is perfect for someone who likes to starve, because the problem with starving your enemy is that you also starve yourself at the same time because you don't get that income that you get from using your Mythium. So for someone to starve to start with a bonus 25 income is a really powerful combo. Now, I'm also going to use this mission as an excuse to showcase the Shrine Legion. Now, Shrine is actually possibly the best Legion to go up against Shadowynn. There's some really powerful tricks you can use because you know that Shadowynn is very predictable. He always sends on the same waves, which is 6 and 10. So as long as you can build for those waves, it's pretty easy to be able to push and play risky and still hold the send when it comes. So we're playing Shrine, and we're going to find redemption from the curse of the afterlife. Ooh, spooky. Now, with my Shrine build, I want to start with the Azora. I'm going to build her up against the wall of the map, just like this. And I'm going to push a worker. I'm going to shift-click 3 more. I'm going straight to 6 workers. I'm also going to add 1 king up, just to get my income rolling. Obviously, I start with 0, and Shadowynn starts with 25. So I want some form of income coming in just to let me scale a little bit. And also the king upgrade is fine because if I do happen to leak to the king, having those extra attack upgrades is going to be pretty good for me. So let's get into the wave. And the reason that I've been able to shift 3 workers here like this, pushing straight to 6, is because Azora can actually solo hold the first 3 waves. I think she might be the only unit who's capable of doing that, and it's just a really powerful ability, especially against Shadowynn, because I know that Shadowynn will not send me any Mythium until wave 6. That means that I can play really risky on the first 5 waves, because there is no way that Shadowynn is going to send me any myth on any of those waves. Now Shadowynn plays a fairly safe build, a Berserker opener. It's pretty slow. It does mean the waves will go on for some time, which is really good for Shadowynn. It gives him the time he needs to start building up that myth for when he eventually does send it to me. I'm going to send another king upgrade here, again to keep my income ticking over. I do need a certain amount of gold resource to be able to fund these 6 workers that I'm pushing. So the king upgrades is the perfect way to do that. I'm not giving Shadowynn gold, and I am increasing my own income. Now the build I'm going to show you does need pretty much for you to income send as often as possible, just so that you can afford all of the units you need for wave 6. Shadowynn hasn't added anything here. I'm going to send a snail. Again, it's all about just increasing my own income and allowing myself to scale. These first early waves will be fairly slow. We've both got slow openers. The Azora's quite slow and the Berserker's even slower. So the waves do go on a long time. That benefits Shadowynn, of course, but it also benefits me. You can see that I just get this snail out in time, and I just get the bonus gold from sending it. Now's the moment of truth, so I'm going into wave 3. I'm not going to add any units. I'm going in straight with the Azora on her own, and let's just prove how powerful the Azora is as an opener. I think I just miss out on being able to get another king upgrade here. It looks like I will. Yeah, it was just too slow there to be able to get the king upgrade out. So Shadowynn has a 270 value on the board. He's added a steed, which is perfect for this wave. I'm going to send a lizard, again, just keep my income ticking over, and let's go and check out Azora. So you can see that she's doing just fine against wave 3, all by herself. Now her HP does get pretty low, but don't worry, this is consistent. She will always hold against wave 3 by herself. Now we send that lizard again, just for the income. And we see that Shadowynn is clearing pretty slow. Now here's where this build becomes really interesting. I'm adding one Infiltrator right here, and you can see that we're 205 under value. But, and this is the key bit, because we know that Shadow won't send until wave 6, I'm not worried at all that I'm so undervalued on wave 4. These two units can hold wave 4 by themselves. And I'm shifting gold, so I'm keeping this 80 in the bank, so that I can afford to upgrade Infiltrator into an Orchid on wave 5. Now Orchid is amazing on wave 5, but is also probably the best unit in the whole game on wave 6. So as long as I can make sure I have that Orchid ready for the wave 6 send, which I know is coming from Shadowynn, I can have a really, really powerful build to be able to hold his massive send on wave 6. Again, that predictability is something that you really want to abuse when you play against Shadowynn on hard. So you just build specifically for the waves you know that he's going to send you on. So easy hold with those two units. And here is the Orchid. So we are still pretty undervalued, but again, that's just completely fine. Alright. Now, as long as I can get a snail out, then we're absolutely fine. There it is. So you can see we've actually got pretty nice income now, and that's all because we did that 6 worker opener with the Azora. Now I'm going to add a False Maiden in the split, and I'm going to add another Infiltrator right here. So here's the moment of truth. We know that the big send is coming right here. So let's see how it works out. There it is, it's 180, it's a snail and a pack leader. Possibly not the best send, pack leader is really not great here on wave 6. And I'm pretty sure that we're completely fine. You can see how quickly that pack leader is dying, so the send is now gone and it's just the wave itself. And you can just see how powerful the Orchid is here. She deals so much damage against the creeps on wave 6. And her swift armor makes her absolutely perfect to be able to tank this wave as well. Alright, now I've got just enough gold as well because I would normally be quite weak on wave 7 with only Infiltrators. I'm going to get my Hellraiser in the split here, which makes me very strong on wave 7 and 8. And I'm going to be, knowing that I'm strong on wave 8, I'm actually going to push 2 more workers. I'm going to go straight to 10 and then try to send against Shadowynn again on wave 9. So this build just complements itself perfectly on the waves that you need it to, basically. The Orchids are there for wave 6, but they would be quite weak on 7. That's why I've got a Hellraiser. So they just cover themselves really nicely. I am unfortunately fairly weak on wave 10, which is when Shadowynn will send his next send, but there's some things I can do to prepare for that. Now Shadowynn's build, how's he faring against my Lizard Snail send? He's almost starting to be in close to leak territory. So again, I know there's no send coming here on wave 8, which means I don't need to build anything. And let's go and watch Shadowynn's lane. His build's looking kind of interesting. He's got a bunch of steeds, he's got a berserker and a couple of aquas. He looks really weak on wave 9. Luckily, that's exactly when I plan to send him. I'm only going to go with lizards. I just want to get my income rolling. But lizards look really strong against everything that he has on the board as well. So it's actually a pretty good send. Okay, we have 300 gold here. What I really want to make sure is that I've got enough gold for this Arc Tear on wave 10. So I just need to keep an eye on my gold next wave. Currently that's the perfect amount. And let's see how Shadowynn copes against these lizards. He has added a Butcher and a Bone Crusher, which are both decent on this wave, but I don't think it should be enough to help him here. This should be Elite coming out now. You can see nearly all of his tank line is dead, the Berserker just dying now, and his ranged unit shouldn't last too long once the wave and the lizards start dealing damage to them. I will send again next wave. Yeah, so 50% leak is nice. I'll get some decent gold out of this. And it gives me more time to keep sending again on wave 10. Don't quite get another dragon turtle, so a snail will have to do. And I've got a decent chunk of gold here. I've got my Arc there. I'm going to pump a couple more stacks into the cat. So I've used pretty much all of my gold, and I think it's probably worth putting the rest into these units. I know that I'm getting a send here, so I might as well use all the gold I can to try and hold. And even despite that, I'll probably leak here. I'm pretty far under value. Orchids and Hellraisers are pretty weak on 10, so do you know what? I'll throw a couple of king upgrades on as well, just to minimise that damage that my king takes here. So here's the 320. The Orchid boost's really strong against the Centaur there. So it looks like I should at least be able to kill the Centaur. Yep, that's dead, so that's a worker for me. And when do I want to try and finish Shadowynn? He looks super weak on wave 12. I think wave 12 is a very, very strong send for me. And I have either Overwork or Giant Snails on the table as well, both of which are very strong for a wave 12 send. I think I might just be able to end the game there on wave 12. So I've leaked 46%, and Shadowynn has also leaked against Dragon Turtle and a Snail. This is where he starts to kind of struggle, because he doesn't have as many workers, he doesn't have as much income, he is trying to starve me out of the game. But thanks to my very aggressive opener, I'm going to go for the snails by the way, but thanks to my very aggressive opener with the 6 workers and the Azora, I've actually been able to scale despite being starved. So I'm feeling pretty confident right now. I really want to try and go for the kill on wave 12, so let's see what happens. And you can see, despite that being a 320 Mythium send on wave 10, I only lost 23% of my king's HP. Okay, Shadowynn has gone for a head chef and has put Titan on his Berserker. It's not bad, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Not enough gold.
Just increasing my tank value. And we're going to get a few more of those giant snails out. Okay. So let's see how Shadowynn copes against this. He's added a Harbinger here. It does have fortified armor, but its damage type is very weak on wave 12. I don't think that's a great addition for him. Let's see how my Send performs. It looks like most of his tank line is dead. I've just got the Titan Berserker to get through now. And this might not be lethal, but it's a ton of damage. Yeah, 71% leak. I think he might just survive this. And I probably don't want to send on 13 against that. Although I could see it working. Maybe even just the Giant Snail's resend is good enough here. The Giant Snails are really good for distracting his Berserkers and stopping them from being able to ramp up their ability against the wave 13 creeps.
Not enough gold.
I believe the next send is coming on 14, so just want to build for that. And I'll get my 7th giant snail. There's a decent chance that this is just enough to beat Shadowynn straight up on 13. Okay, so if this doesn't beat him here, then I will be getting a pretty big send on 14. So I'm actually kind of hoping that he just dies to this send. On this wave he upgraded one of the steeds into a Pegasus. I don't think that should be enough to hold this send. He has 2 Berserkers which are pretty good on the wave, but by themselves they shouldn't be enough. He's going to kill one more of those, it looks like. So there's going to be 3 Roccos getting to the king. He only has 22% HP and no king upgrades. This should be lethal. So I'm pretty sure this is the end of the game, and you can see we were never really in danger at any point in this match. We knew when the sends were coming on 6 and 10, and we knew that we could build specifically against those waves and send to make sure that our income scaled harder than Shadowynn was able to. So a fairly easy matchup. Shrine against Shadowynn is pretty perfect. You can do that risky Azora start and be able to make sure you can scale yourself into the late game harder than Shadowynn is capable of outstarving you. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, good luck in Legion.